All right, this is a Chapter 9 review. The first problem is just asking what is a quadratic formula, so I'm going to skip to problem number 2, which is a bunch of different inequalities and it asks you to graph them. So here's an example of an inequality. Y is less than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. That's just an example of one. So if you haven't done so already, I want you to set up a graph, an x and y axis. All right. So the first thing you want to do is probably label m is equal to 1/2. And we say this is also equal to the change in y over the change in x. And then b is also our starting point. And so b is 0, -3. So if we're starting at this -3 value, we're starting at 0, -3. Earlier I showed in the quiz practice that you get this b value comes from when you plug in x equals 0. So if you have this line, it's the y-axis, okay? We also know it as the line x equals 0. So if you plug that in and you're looking for the point that is on that line, you substitute in x equals 0 to the equation y is less than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. This 1/2 x, the 0 is substituted in and we have a 0 here. Anything times 0 is 0, so then we get out y is less than or equal to -3. So in goes 0, out comes -3. In goes 0, that's our x value, and out comes our -3 value. That's how we get that point. When we plug in 0, we get out -3. So that's our first starting point, and then the next thing is to look at our slope. And so this is saying it's changing 1 in the y direction for every 2 in the x direction. And that means this is the x-axis. This is the x direction. So it's changing 2. See, delta x, or change in x is 2. So in the x direction, it's changing 2. And in the y direction, in this direction, up and down, it's changing 1. So there's a second point. And you can keep going if you would like to, but you only need 2 points to graph a line. This, unfortunately, is not just a line, that's the boundary line, but it's an inequality, and it says y is less than or equal to 1/2 x minus 3. So this is saying it's not just one point, it's a set of a bunch of points that are all obeying this inequality. I mean, a line is an infinite number of points, but this is even more, and bigger infinite. So when we see y is less than or equal to, this is the less than symbol. Remember again, this is less than because y is on the smaller side of that symbol. This would be the y is greater than or equal to symbol. This is greater than. Okay, because it's on the larger side of that symbol. And so, which do we have? This symbol up here looks like it's the less than symbol. It's not the greater than, it's not on the bigger side. Y is on the smaller side. And so when we see less, think what? You have less than me, you're less, you have less money. If I lost money, I'm not sure how you want to think about it, but less you can think of as downwards. So we want to think about this line, and we want to think about shading down from this line. Shade down. And since it's equal to, it also includes all of the points on this line. We don't have to worry about if it's just less than or just greater than. We can shade in the line because it has this equal to. All right, so let's try another type of version. If you can't get that one, let's try another one. Y is greater than 2x plus 1. So check out the next video, but I want you to at least try this before you look at the solution. So try to graph y is greater than 2x plus 1. What would that look like?